Welcome back to the channel. Let's tackle today's challenge. We are looking at a hard problem today called number of ways to assign edge weights to. Here is the problem page on Leetcode. It looks a bit dense with all the math, so let me break down what it's actually asking. We are given a tree network, which just means a bunch of nodes connected by edges without any loops. Every edge starts off with no weight assigned to it. Our main task is to assign a weight to every single edge, and our only choices are the number 1 or the number 2. We are then given a list of queries. Each query gives us a starting node and an ending node. For each query, we only care about the specific path connecting those two nodes. For the edges exactly on that path, we need to figure out how many different ways we can assign our 1s and 2s so that the total sum of the path is an odd number. Real quick, as we go through this, if any part doesn't make sense, please ask a question in the comments. I read them all, and I'll do my best to respond and clear things up. Let's look at a simple example. What if our path is exactly one edge long? If we give it a 1, the sum is odd, which is what we want. If we give it a 2, it's even. So there is exactly one valid way. What if the path has 3 edges? We could use 3 1s to get a total of 3. Or 1 1 and 2 2s to get 5. There are quite a few combinations. Here is the big mathematical secret to this problem, which is actually the core of the easier part 1 version of this question. For any path with a length of L edges, there are 2 to the power of L total ways to assign the numbers. Because we are picking between an odd number, 1, and an even number, 2, it turns out that exactly half of all possible combinations will result in an even sum, and the other half will result in an odd sum. So, if we want just the odd sums, we take the total combinations and divide by 2. Mathematically, 2 to the power of L divided by 2 is just 2 to the power of L minus 1. This makes things so much simpler. The whole problem boils down to just figuring out the exact length of the path between the two nodes in our query. Once we have the length, we just plug it into our formula. To find the path length, we could trace the path step by step, but we might have to do that thousands of times, which is too slow. Instead, we can use a clever technique involving the lowest common ancestor of the two nodes. If we know the depth of our starting node, the depth of our ending node, and the depth where their paths meet up top, we can use this exact formula to find the distance between them instantly. To find that meeting point, the lowest common ancestor, very fast, we use a technique called binary lifting. Instead of walking up the tree one step at a time, we take massive leaps in powers of 2. As always, we will walk through the solution using Python first to understand the logic. If you are looking for Java, C++, or JavaScript, I will show those at the end of the video. Here is the start of our class. We are setting up our tree structure, an array to hold the depth of each node, and a 2D table for our binary lifting jumps. We loop through the edges provided in the problem to build our adjacency list, which maps out how all the nodes connect. Then, we kick off a depth-first search from the root. Our depth-first search does 2 crucial things. First, it records the immediate parent of every node. Second, as it travels down, it records exactly how deep each node is compared to the root. Back in our setup, we build the jump table. This line looks confusing, but it just means, to jump 4 steps up, I first jump 2 steps up, and then from that new spot, I jump 2 more steps. When we actually want to find the lowest common ancestor, we start by making sure both nodes are at the exact same depth. If one is deeper, we use our jumps to pull it up to the same level as the other one. Once they are level, if they aren't already the same node, we jump them both upwards simultaneously. We take the biggest jumps possible without overshooting their meeting point, and eventually, their immediate parent will be the lowest common ancestor. Finally, in our main solution class, we initialize our tree structure. Because we will be calculating powers of 2 very often, we pre-calculate them all up to the maximum possible distance to save time later. For each query, we find the ancestor, calculate the distance using our depth formula, and then simply look up the answer in our powers array using distance minus 1. We add that to our results, and we are done. Notice how we handled a specific edge case. If the start and end nodes are the same, the path length is 0. You can't have an odd sum with 0 edges, so the answer is just 0. We check for this to avoid negative indexes. Building our jump table takes order n log n time. Then, processing m queries takes order m log n time. The space complexity is order n log n because of that 2-dimensional jump table we store in memory. Big lessons here are memorizing that tree distance formula, recognizing when to use binary lifting to speed up queries, and looking for mathematical patterns instead of trying to simulate every single path. If you want to grab the full code for this without typing it all out, you can head over to my website, leetcodeunlocked.com, linked in the description, to copy the exact solutions shown here. As promised, let's take a quick look at the solutions in other popular languages for those who need them. Here is the first half of the Java solution setting up the structure. And here is the rest of the lowest common ancestor logic for Java. Finally, the main class for Java that processes the queries. Next up, here is the initial setup for the C++ version, and the tree traversal and jumping logic for C++, and the final query processing for C++. Finally, here is the setup for the JavaScript version, the traversal and jumping methods in JavaScript, and the main function for JavaScript. Before we wrap up, I want to quickly say why this channel looks and sounds the way it does. This is narrated by AI, because I built this to instantly generate clear explanations for myself when daily problems drop. I've also recently changed up the visual format of these slides to make them punchier. I'd love to know what you think of the new format, so please leave your feedback in the comments. And again, if you have any questions about the problem we just solved, please ask them down there as well. I am on a mission to eventually post a solution for literally every single Leetcode problem on the platform. If you want to study problems outside of just the daily challenge, make sure to check out the channel. If you want to help support that massive goal, you can donate at buymeaboba.com/leetcodedaily. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you can get your streak done early tomorrow. Keep coding, and I'll catch you in the next one.